Okay, so last reading in financial reporting and analysis is again a very small reading. This reading actually talks about what we discussed at the very start. So when we started this topic, we talked about what is financial statement analysis, where is it used. So this reading actually summarizes the application, that where is it actually used, or why do you or when do you use financial statement analysis. So at the start they explain financial statement analysis, then they explain the whole analytical parts, and now where is it applied. So again something which we have already discussed throughout the course, so it is kind of a summary of that. So where is it used? There can be different applications. It can be used to evaluate past performance. It can be used to project future performance. It can be used to assess credit risk. It can be used for to screen for potential equity investments, or it can be used by analysts to make adjustment to financial reports. So we'll quickly go through each of these. What is evaluating past performance? Evaluating past performance means that if you have past data, based on that past data you can find out how has company grown, how has its profitability changed, how has its liquidity changed, how has its solvency changed, and so on. So you can perform the analysis of what happened, how did it happen, and what were the reasons for something happening. So how did company perform, how did its position change, and what were the reasons for that performance or that change in position. All these questions can be answered through financial statement analysis or financial analysis, by calculating ratios, by calculating by making common size statements, by drawing comparisons. You can answer all these questions. Once you have analyzed the past, then based on past trends analysis and your assumptions for future, assumptions or about expectations for future, you can combine these two, and based on these you can arrive at future projections, which again is an application of financial statement analysis. By financial statement analysis, for example, you can find out that profitability improved from 15% to 17%. So in future you can project an improvement from 17 to 19%. Just an example. So based on past ratio analysis, common size analysis, trend analysis, which is all financial statement analysis, based on that financial statement analysis you can forecast future or project future by combining it with your applications. Or it can also act as an input to market based valuation. So for example, if you are calculating target price using price to earnings, then you can look at the historical price to earning ratio. Based on that you can come up with a price to earning ratio for future. Or you can forecast future earnings, and you can use these future earnings forecast to estimate the price for future. So again all of this comes from financial statement analysis. Or projecting multi-period performance. So for example, in DCF approach, direct discounted cash flow approach, you forecast income statement, you forecast balance sheet, forecast cash flows, and then based on that you find out the value. So all of these forecasts are actually made using financial statement analysis. Like for example, you can take past profitability ratio to forecast future profit. You can take past sales growth to forecast future growth. You can take past assets values to forecast future capex, and so on. So all this is possible, forecasting is possible through financial statement analysis. For example, you have this data set. Based on that you can forecast sales. So you have sales for today, you can forecast future based on sales growth. You have cost of goods sold for today, you can forecast based on estimate of cost of goods sold to sales for future. You have operating expenses as of today, you can take a ratio of operating expense to sales, and based on that you can forecast future operating expenses. Income tax, tax rate, you have tax rate, and based on that you can forecast future taxes. You have interest income rate, based on this rate you can forecast future interest income, and so on, and you can forecast future net income. So that means financial statement analysis can help you with forecasting future financial statements. Assessing credit risk, this was discussed earlier in detail as well. What is credit risk? Credit risk is the risk of default. When you are analyzing the risk of default, what do you look at? Key aspects to look at are liquidity and solvency. So you are more interested in position. You also look at performance, but more interested in position. So again, financial statement analysis can help you analyze the liquidity or solvency and overall financial position and company's ability to make its commitment or fulfill its commitment. You can also use ratios such as EBIT based on EBITDA, such as for example debt to EBITDA ratio or other ratios. Another application is screening for potential equity investments. What do we mean by this? So for example, let's say you are making an investment and you want to invest in growth companies. So you want to select only growth companies from all the companies. So what you can do is you can put a screening criteria that only select companies with greater than 10% growth. So where does this come from? How is it calculated? Through financial statement analysis. And this can help you screen the growth companies. Or maybe you want only companies which pay dividend, or which have increased its dividend from over the past. So you put a criteria that only select companies for which dividend growth is greater than 5%. Again, this comes from financial statement analysis. So it can also help screen on the basis of financial ratios. It can help with top-down analysis, bottom-up analysis. And all types of investors, for example, growth investor, market investor, value investor, can use ratios of their interest to screen for potential investment. So for example, a growth investor may look at the top line growth. A value investor may look at the companies with low PE. A market investor may look at the relative strength index. So any investor, based on his or her requirements, can put in a criteria, and based on that criteria can do the screening. And that criteria is again if in the form of ratios, is coming in from financial statement analysis. So this is again an application. When you perform screening, then you can also perform some kind of testing on that screening, and that testing is back testing. What is back testing? So let's say I want to have growth companies, and based on growth companies selection, I have formed a portfolio. Now I want to see that had I held this portfolio over the past 5 years, what return would I have made over it. So for example, I check the portfolio that if I bought the same portfolio 5 years back, what is my return as of today, to find out that how will it perform in future. This is known as back testing. That is testing if I had this portfolio at the back in the previous years, how would have it performed, or how would have it impacted my returns. So that can also be an application. Back testing but have some limitations. What are those limitations? Survivorship bias, which we discussed in quant, look ahead bias, which we discussed in quant, and data snooping bias, which we discussed in quant. And what is it? Survivorship bias says that you will only include those companies which have survived, and the chances are only those would have survived which were good performers. Look ahead bias, you are using financial statements data which is not even available. So for example, if I am using future earnings estimate. Data snooping bias, it is hard to predict future with historical data. So maybe future is not the same as historical events or historical data. But nevertheless, these are the applications for financial statement analysis. Another application is analyst adjustments to reported financial. This again, which something we discussed earlier as well. That at times two financial statements or financial statements reported by two companies might be different, and for analysis purposes an analyst may need to make these two comparable. And how does analyst make these two comparable? So maybe both have different accounting standards. So maybe this reports in IFRS, this reports in US GAAP. So analysts will have to convert US GAAP into IFRS. So again, financial statement analysis is required. Or methods, maybe this one uses a FIFO method and this uses a LIFO method. Again, this will need to be converted to FIFO. So financial statement analysis is required. Estimates, maybe it has an estimate of 5-year useful life, it has 6-year. Or maybe it has straight line depreciation, it has accelerated depreciation. So again, changes are required, which means application of financial analysis. Or so this is how financial statement analysis is applicable. A key point to remember is that when you are changing, there is an effort which you are making, and even after that effort, maybe you do not arrive at the accurate number. You will have an estimate but not the accurate number. So make sure that you only put in effort on places where you know that the difference will be material. If you think that even after changing it, it wouldn't impact financial statement analysis by much, or it wouldn't impact the value with a material amount, then do not spend time into that. Only spend time into those changes or those conversions where you know that the impact will be material enough. Otherwise, maybe you invest so much of effort, but there is no impact on value. So materiality is also very important. Apart from these, what do analysts actually change or may need to change? So other adjustments can include treatment of held for sale, available for sale, held till sale maturities, securities. So maybe there is a company which classify a security as held for trading, held for trade, and another classify it as held for sale or available for sale. Then you need to convert these two or bring both the financial statements on the same page to be comparable. Or maybe you need to convert inventory in FIFO to inventory in LIFO, which you can do so by adding LIFO reserve. Or maybe you need to convert COGS in LIFO to COGS in FIFO, which you can do so by adjusting for change in LIFO reserve. Any problem so far? So this reading is fairly very straightforward. There is, I don't think, any technicalities in it. It just states the application of financial reports.